Good afternoon. I work with an organisation called Global Generation, and we empower young people. We build things. We build some very good things. This, that's forward. Yeah. This is a cordwood build. This is now the offices of Global Gen, south of the river. Architects Yankatan. We finished this about 18 months ago. Alice Hardy, who is also an architect, was the project manager, and without her, this would have never worked. Trust me. I'm here to talk about not the building, but the building process of 2,000 hands were on this wall, and we work with kids. So you have to have a medium that is easy to build. It's no good us laying bricks because we wouldn't get anywhere. You know, you can't use string lines and levels and all this sort of stuff. So this cordwood wall, as you can see, was built by lots of young people. Because you can lay a block, a cordwood log, in a lump of lime. This is obviously lime. Give it a tap, next one, and on you go. If there is anyone from health and safety here, they're not children. You'll have to sign the disclaimer on your way out. So we built this building, and then fortunately, we were given a 99-year lease for a place in King's Cross. Now, CobBauge, I'm sure a lot of you heard of CobBauge. Have I said that right? Whew. Right. This is another simple way to build. As you can see, it's a frame, it's a cage frame. That would be your shuttering, but it's held in a bit of wire. So you can see, for me, if I'm working with kids, I can see what's going on inside there. Obviously, we have a light side and a heavy side. If you want to know more about CobBauge, Roland's sitting there. And tomorrow at King's Cross, we've got a bit of an open day, so if you want to come and see a wall, which is that one there, or in fact, this one here, there, that's it finished. We took the cage off. The beauty with this, I'll just go back one. The beauty with this is when we have children working with us, we can see when they're squashing down the heavy side, when it starts pushing out of the frame, we know it's too much, stop. The light side, there's two sides, obviously a light and a heavy. Oh, have we got one here? Yep. The light side, not so easy, because when you get volunteers and you get a 16-stone bloke at the top of the scaffold who wants to ram it as flat as he can, obviously we don't want that happening, we're going to come up with a stick method, I think. A few lines on a stick just to work out what our pressure is. But obviously this has all got to be tested, taken apart. If no one can make this on tomorrow, we will be taking it apart soon, and on the Global Gen website we'll put out a shout so you can come and see how it's performed. This is the heavy side. That's the I nearly fell over this. This is hemp straw, that's straw, and that's hemp. So we've just had a test to see how it's going, how it's standing up. This, as I said, is an easy process, as children can ram the heavy side and the soft side with a few trainees and our glorious people from Global Gen over there. Big shout out for Global Gen. Those beautiful people over there. You only need one trainee and a couple of people ramming and prodding to fill up your spaces, to understand the wall. We had 80 people 2 weeks ago to build this. So we obviously, what are you going to do with 80 people? But we made a cob chain. We had some mixing the heavy stuff, some mixing the light stuff. Everybody got a go at ramming, and everyone went home happy. And it's building with the community. You need to keep it simple. But there's no point in, for us, I'm probably sort of stating the bleeding obvious, but it's got to be a simple build. There's no point being, we rely totally on voluntary, not totally, but a huge amount of our labour is the goodness of people turning up and giving their time to, as you saw in the cordwood, to build these great buildings. So, and we want to get young people involved in it, so they understand, you can make buildings with mud and all that. So that's not what I'm talking about. But on Saturday, do come along. This is what I'm talking about. Mandritsa. So in 2010, I bought a house on eBay in Bulgaria. I'd never been to Bulgaria. What could possibly go wrong? So, this is where I am, Mandritsa. I'm very close to Istanbul, 2.5, 3 hours. Med's there, Black Sea's there. As a crow flies, that's about 30k. It's nice. Foothills, lovely place. There we are. It's the most biodiverse part of Europe. It's in a place called Natura 2000, which is, as I say, the most biodiverse part of Europe. Fantastic wildlife. I have to shout out to Finn Moore here, my nephew. He's did these photographs. We get wolves. We don't get bears. We get everything else apart from bears and lynx in our part of the mountains. So that's the house I bought. It's got no windows in that one. And that's my car, a Lada. 1973. Lily's her name. I love it. Anyway, so there's the lump of land. We're in sort of, our village is Mandritsa. In 1989, there were nearly 2,000 people. Now there's 30. So the place is, it's just mud bricks. Ruined buildings of mud bricks. So that's a couple of our buildings. The one on the left needed a bit of work. But it was cheap. Come on. It's cheap. So anyway, it took me a year or two just to find my feet. I can speak a bit of Bulgarian now. Then I couldn't at all. So eventually, this is the clays. The soil there is just perfect for mud brick. You just put it in a mold or scoop it out of the ground. It's wonderful, wonderful stuff. Anyway, I had to find some builders. So Asen and his family, that's my daughter there, set about restoring one of the buildings, our first building. And I thought, well, what are we going to do? We're going to dig some mud, we're going to do this. And it was like, no, over there's a wall that's falling down. Grab the bricks, because it's mud bricks, it goes round and round and round forever, and make mud piles. So when they make this is like a massive volcano, there's a small one, you pull that one into that one, make your mortar, it's Ringo there, make your mortar and send it up there to the people working on the top. So we're building away. This is Asen. Asen is rule of thumb. Yeah, it really is rule of thumb. But the knowledge that these people, it's unbelievable what they know. And I'm constantly writing things down, asking questions, grabbing, all the stuff they know. So we're building the wall. So Asen's laying the bricks there. You blind the surface, you put the bricks down. There's a blinding the surface. A little bit of mortar maybe on the front face, not a lot. And then you do another course. So I'm sort of thinking, well, I don't know. Well, I'll let it go. Asen knows what he's doing. Eventually we finished the wall. There we are, wall's up. There's obviously these wooden collars running around the building. It's pointed there, you can see. Then, about a year later, we had an earth tremor. Bulgaria is in a seismic zone. And all that happened was there's a bit of cracking plaster. In our village, all that happened, some plaster cracked. Over the border in Greece, where they started rebuilding in the 60s, chimneys fell, balconies went, but here there was nothing. And I thought, hold on. The way Asen put the blocks in, or the bricks in, makes complete sense. Hang on, I need my hands. When your wall is tight like that and there's a tremor, there's nowhere for the energy to go. But if you put those voids in the wall, they act as dampers, as shock absorbers. So your wall, and the walls start off at about a metre at the bottom, and they get to about 30 centimetres to 20 at the top. So the walls are like this. The whole thing joggles, and that energy goes into the wall, not out of the wall. Then you have all your wooden collars around. There we are, wooden collars in some of these buildings, and it allows that slippage and movement. So you can see here, there's no muck in the bricks. They would just point that. All that space in that wall allows the thing to move and shake about, which I was amazed at. And I thought, how long has it taken these people to work that out? All there right into Turkey, the buildings are built the same way, which I found absolutely astonishing. And again, grabbing hold of these people's money. Yeah, no, they're grabbing hold of I'll get on to money in a minute. Hold on. So, as you can see, we have lots of ruined buildings there that are tumbling down. So this one on the very on the very far over there. That's the source of our material for building. We basically take that down, reuse the bricks that are good, the bricks that aren't, we make up into mortar, and all the horizontal timbers, if they're good, we use as our ring beams. Everything is reused, but we really are very machine light. So, the roof tiles. After this little earth tremor, we then got on the roof. So they're pan tiles, old Roman tiles, they're called Turkish tiles there. So we got on the roof we had to take the roof off. But realised after the tremor, all of the tiles are also loose. They're Roman tiles, so they just sit on the roof. There's the ones on the bottom, the ones on the top, make your gullies, you line them up. But it's loose and it just jiggles about. So when you get a tremor, your roof jiggles about, your walls jiggle about, it all jiggles around, but there's no cracking. It's just a very, very loose, flimsy house. I mean, it's a substantial house, but it's a very, very loose, flimsy house. Now, I have to shout out some information. Nikolai Marelf. He works for, it's an organization, and it is called, it's in Bulgarian, it is, he's an engineer and an architect out of Sofia. And he is very interested in the way the bricks are put together and the way the houses work. He's actually taking bricks apart, and he is saying that because we can build 3 floors here, this is 2 of the bigger houses, it's something to do with the way the clay in the bricks and the shale in the clay and the way it jiggles about that holds the house up. But hopefully, I might get him over here next year. Now, that's the house finished. So eventually, hang on. So this is us working in the buildings. As I say, that's my partner there, Katinka. This is just showing you that these are bricks. These are mud bricks off the house, in there, wet them up. These bricks might go in the wall in the pile. There we are. It's the whole thing of mud. You can recycle, you can use it again and again and again. That's a sand and Hitco, mixing up the mud on the floor. That's the sand. Anyway, these are the lads I work with in Bulgaria. Very knowledgeable boys as well. Anyway, eventually, this is some failures. Eventually, we did get it finished. This is called prust. Prust is it's like, I don't know what it is really. Prust in Bulgarian means dirt. It's not dirt. It's very, very fine, sort of teal clay stuff, which the inside of the buildings, in our village particularly, when the old women, the bubbers came to us and said, no, the women have to do the inside, especially the bedroom, because it's a thing that the women do in the village. So it's a real female-heavy thing, this. You mix up the prust, and you put it on with a sponge, and you put layers and layers and layers of this stuff on. So, as Katinka, my partner, we've done the whole room with a sponge, and I decided in another room I would put it on with a trowel. Yeah, clever clogs. Anyway, we eventually did. There's my daughter Greer, also doing it. Anyway, we did get it done, but I thought it's quite important that builders are usually men, and you see in villages it's always blokes, but this was a really, really woman-heavy thing. It was like, you're not going there. And anyway, we got a bedroom. So eventually we got the things done, and so these are some of our bedrooms and kitchens and, eating areas. There's some, you might recognise some of the people there. That's people I work with, their bedroom. Anyway, we got it finished. There's loads to do. Almost saying we got it finished. There's loads of buildings. However, this is us, aims for the earth, which is what we're putting a bit of a, this is again some people over there that worked with us on buildings. We are very, very rural. This is our local river. That's just a river 200 metres away from the house. So we're local. What we're trying to do now, these are some of the buildings in our village. In actual fact, that one isn't in our village. That's up the road in Gorno Lukovo. This is a stone and plaster door at the top. That's the fabled cinema. So there's buildings all over the place, empty and falling down. There needs to be rescued. So this is the sort of the shout-out. Nikolai, who I mentioned before, is proposing, he's at uni, he had his own students, that there's some sort of link between eBucky and them. Just to, I'm sort of like the matchmaker sent out of the village, right? So here I am, trying to find a match. And he's proposing that we collaborate somehow. How, I don't know, we'll work on that. But it's a cross of information, of ideas, and just to steal some of their knowledge, because they're loaded with knowledge, and we can go there and have a good time, basically. So I'm going to leave it, I think. Am I going to leave it on that? Yes, I am. I'm going to leave it on that, and hopefully we can collaborate. Thank you very much.